If the NBA was to put on a pay-per-view featuring all of the head-to-head matchups that we would want to see, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James would be the main event. But if I'm counting on any undercard matchup to steal the show, I'm going with Larry Bird versus Kevin Durant. Legend, Reaper, who y'all got? Let me know in the comments.
He's heating up.
I'm not gonna get in the way of the game because, you know, I want to have a little back and forth with Patrick Beverly. I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
There will be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
Now let me paint the picture, all right? Kevin Durant for his career is at 27.3 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.1 blocks, 49, 38, 88.6 splits. Larry Bird for his career, 24.3 points a game, 10 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.7 steals, 0.8 blocks, 49, 37, 89 splits for his career. Now, if there was a white guy in the NBA, can't really run fast or jump high and not really shifty, but they can give you 30 points and fill out the rest of the box score and get to their spot anytime they want to on the court. You're going to compare that player to Larry Bird. Think Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic. Those two individuals are often compared to Larry Legend. But in my book, Kevin Durant, on the court, from the ground up, is probably the best player we have ever seen. I'm talking about shooting, passing, handles, defense, his length, his height. All of those things rolled into one make up probably the best player we have ever seen. His shooting ability, his scoring ability. Now, LeBron James and Michael Jordan are in the GOAT conversation. That's on the court product, off the court brands, career awards, records, numbers, championships, MVPs. All of those things are brought into the case in the GOAT conversation. But just on the court, Kevin Durant might be the best that we have ever seen. Now, both of these players at their position are two of the best ever. Maybe the best ever, including LeBron James. But it is disrespectful to their greatness to say that Larry Bird would destroy Kevin or Kevin Durant would destroy Larry Bird. Because any given night in the NBA, anybody can and will get got. Y'all have been using that Rex Chapman game against Michael Jordan for as long as I can remember. But in the grand scheme of things, head to head, what is that going to look like? How is this going to play out? I'm talking about 5v5 and a 1v1 situation for Larry Bird on one side and Kevin Durant on the other in a 5v5 7-game series. I want their absolute best. For Larry Bird, that looks like 29.9 points, 11 rebounds, 7.6 assists, 2 steals, 1.2 blocks, 53, 42.7, 94.7 splits. For Kevin Durant, category by category, that looks like 32 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 1.4 steals, 1.8 blocks, 56, 45, 91.9 splits. Now, offensively speaking, they're not going to make many mistakes. They can shoot the three when they're wide open. And sometimes they may even be sitting in the corner as the decoy to draw attention away from the rest of the players to get lanes to the basket, wide open shots, post-ups. They can come off screens for mid-range. They can come off screens for three. They can run the pick and roll. They can make the pocket pass. They can hit the guy rolling to the basket. They can get downhill and get all the way to the rim. They'll hit the mid-range. They'll hit the three if you give them a step off. They can do anything they want to on the offensive side of the ball, and it's majority of the time going to come within the flow of the offense. And we're probably going to go with the super team, route. Kevin Durant on Golden State, Larry Bird on Boston. When we're talking about defensively, you're going to say that that's probably the weakest part of their game, and you would be correct, but I will be remiss to say that that is the weakest part of their game, but they are not the weakest link on their teams defensively. Larry Bird is a 3-time all defensive team individual. I would not have known that if I didn't do the research. Kevin Durant's never been selected on the defensive team, but since his time in Golden State till now, he is a much more willing defender and a much more capable defender. And if you need a stop, late game situation, you can count on Durant to lock in and get a stop in those scenarios. KD is 6'11", Larry Bird is 6'9". I've had the privilege of shooting over 6'9" players, shooting over 6'11" players. That is not something I want to do on every single possession. So they're most likely not going to take shots unless they're wide open, unless they're able to get to the rim, or unless they're trying to get their way to the free throw line. Both of these guys are shooting in the 90%, 91.9 for KD, 94.7 for Larry Bird. They're going to try to get the easiest buckets possible. They're not going to try to shoot over each other every single possession, because that's going to damage their percentage and damage the team's percentage, considering the fact that they're the best offensive option on both of these teams. Now, they might try to go for the switch route, switch KD off of him and go at Klay Thompson or go at Steph. If I'm KD, I'm switching off of Larry Bird and going at McHale and going at Dennis Johnson. Those are the type of opportunities they're trying to create for themselves, because it's still going to come within the flow of the offense and it's going to be the highest percentage shot for their team. In this scenario, I'm going with Larry Bird with the 4-3 series win, and it's very simple. It's very plain. Larry Bird had more success on a super team than Kevin Durant has had success in his career on super teams. KD has 2 rings, Larry Bird has 3 rings. Now, in a 1v1 setting, there's no help defense, there's no trapping, there's no switching, there's no 2-3 zone. Straight up me versus you. Now, everybody's probably thinking KD's gonna rock Larry Bird to sleep, go left to right, right to left, and do all this ball handling. That's not either of their games. They are best served going 1, 2, 3, or 4 dribbles, getting to their spots and trying to put the ball in a hole. You're not going to see 10, 11 dribbles from either one of these players, because that's not how they play the game. Now, Larry Bird is kind of like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic intertwined. He has the release of Nikola Jokic, and his style of play is somewhat like Luka Doncic. I'm going to get to my spot. I'm not going to take any shot that makes me uncomfortable. Nikola Jokic, his high release point, his creative shot making, being able to score with his right, being able to score with his left, that is Larry Bird. Now, Kevin Durant, we know what he does. Again, 6'11", 7 feet. He's going to rise up over anybody he wants to and put the ball in the basket. Now, one of the things that is going to make Kevin Durant dangerous, that right to left hezzy into his jump shot. When he suddenly rises up, he is 3 to 4 feet off of the ground above the other player's head. So the hand in the face is not going to do much. Even Larry Bird being 6'9", either one of these players need to make sure that they contest every single shot that goes up. But Kevin Durant's high release point, his ability to rise up off a hesitation dribble and be that high in the air, coupled with him being 6'11" and being a sniper, I got Kevin Durant winning this game 11-8. It's not going to be a blowout, but it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth battle offensively with great shot making. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys.